Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Jason here with Maslin Tech, a new channel I'll be starting up to cover technology and my opinions of it. Today I'll be reviewing my daily driver, a 2013 15-inch MacBook Pro with Retina Display. Let's get started. So like I said in the intro, this is the late 2013 MacBook Pro. My particular configuration has a 2.6 GHz Intel Crystalwell processor, an NVIDIA 750M sporting 2 gigs of memory, 16 gigabytes of 1600 MHz DDR3 memory, and a 1 terabyte PCIe-based SSD. The 15-inch MacBook Pro is the only laptop in Apple's lineup to use a quad-core processor. In my usage, the processor has never been the bottleneck. In web browsing and document creation, it stays cool and usually doesn't kick in fans. Running Geekbench, I'm getting scores a little over 13,000. Looking at the GPU, the NVIDIA 750M wasn't really considered a gaming chip, but when has that ever been the case with a Mac? It does, however, perform very well for tasks such as photo editing or creating movies in iMovie and Final Cut. This is thanks to its 2 gigs of GDDR5 memory. It will handle light to medium games at an acceptable frame rate, especially games from around 2013 and before. Newer titles it definitely struggles with, and the GPU is starting to become a bottleneck for AAA releases. Some of the more recent games I've played on it have been Rocket League and Dark Souls 3. Rocket League it handles very well. I'm able to maintain 60 frames with most settings on high, albeit 800p and with some noticeable frame tearing. Dark Souls 3, on the other hand, does not fare as well. The game is playable at 720p at lowest settings, but frame rates are all over the place. At times, it'll jump to 60 FPS, but it'll drop as low as 10 in certain areas with no explainable reasoning. If I had to guess, I'd say it ran in the upper 30s for the majority of my game. It really is just all over the place. Exporting in Final Cut is pretty quick as well. I exported a 2-minute and 40-second clip at 4K and 30 FPS in about a minute 40. That's actually much faster than I expected. Looking at the storage, we have a 1 terabyte PCIe-based solid-state drive in here. It's a really fast drive with reads and writes of just over 900 megabytes per second. Boot up times are quick, usually within 15 seconds, and opening applications in Finder windows is almost instantaneous. It's a noticeable improvement over the previous generation's SATA-based SSDs and is still what the newer ones use, albeit with more PCIe lanes. Let's look at the I/O. On the left-hand side, we have a MagSafe connector, 2 Thunderbolt 2 ports, a USB 3 port, and a headphone jack. Flipping over to the right-hand side, we have another USB 3 port, an HDMI out port, and an SD card slot. The 2 Thunderbolt 2 ports are each capable of video out over DisplayPort, as well as 20 gigabits per second data in and out. I hook mine up via Thunderbolt to my ultrawide monitor, which has a USB 3 hub in the back for my peripherals. All of this is run over one line, and my only other connection to the computer is the charger. Taking a look at the size and the weight of the 15-inch MacBook Pro, it weighs in at just 4.5 pounds and is about 0.7 inches thick. Compared to the newer, smaller models in Apple's lineup, like the 2-pound MacBook, the 15-inch is the heaviest computer in their current lineup, save for the now ancient 2012 MacBook Pro that is still on sale. The keyboard and trackpad are standard Apple. The highlight of this MacBook Pro, however, is the Retina Display itself. It's a 2880 by 1800 panel that comes out to about 220 pixels per inch. The screen gets really bright and it has great viewing angles, but in direct sunlight you're still going to struggle to avoid glare since it is a glossy display. The Mac OS renders its content in a high DPI mode. This gives the Mac an effective screen real estate of 1440 by 900 with very high-res icons and sharp text. I run mine at a scaled resolution that mimics a 1200p monitor for the extra space. So that's the 2013 model. The 2014 and 2015 models use the same case, same ports, even the same processor. The graphics card and PCIe-based storage have gotten a little bit faster, but everything else is pretty much the same. So at this point, they've gone about 3 years without a major redesign, with WWDC 2016 coming up in about 5 weeks at the time of the shooting. I'm expecting to see some big upgrades. Rumors are spreading that we may see a new case design, a Skylake processor, and Thunderbolt 3 in the next generation. I plan on releasing a video where I give my expectations and my predictions for what's going to come out, probably about a week before WWDC actually happens, so look forward to that. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a good one.